What's the deal, fam? It's Randall coming to you from Mod Effects. Right behind me you see I got the Hellcat. You know, we've been rocking for the last year. Got a few things done to it, so it's been a little while. Had a crazy year. Been busy with work, projects, car shows, all of the above. And so what I want to do today is kind of give y'all a update on the year of ownership I've had with the car, kind of give you some pros and cons of the Hellcat platform. And this is me coming from the 392 platform, you know, formerly having a Super B and being able to drive scat packs and all of that good stuff. But I'm gonna just give you my point of view after having the Hellcat for a year. And so let's get to it. Here we have a 2020 wide body Hellcat Charger. It is a standard Hellcat. I call it the slow one because it's not a red eye, but I didn't want to wait for the red eye back when we were ordering them. Jose did get the red eye. You know, I have the regular one. What that means is that I don't have some of the features, you know, but in my case, I'm not a race car driver. To me, it's a show car, and so I prefer just having the look of the Hellcat, but not necessarily I don't miss the horsepower. And so having driven them, it is a little extra kick to it, but it's not the end of the world. And so I'm cool with the Hellcat. It's been cool so far. As far as the way that it's held up, one thing I did do when I first got the vehicle is I put a clear bra on here. So I have an expelled clear bra on the front bumper and the headlights as well. And so of course it's invisible to an extent, and so you really can't see it. But on this bumper, I really haven't gotten any paint chips other than a couple of areas where I do need to get the clear bra redone. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I have a new bumper to go on the vehicle, and so I'm going to put the new bumper on it, get the clear bra redone, and then I'll be good to go. But right here, for example, you can see this is an area where the clear bra is kind of lifting up, and so, you know, nothing's going to be perfect, you know, so, you know, I'm charging it to the game, but, you know, that is going to get resolved because I want the car to look the best it can look. So we're going new bumper cap, new clear bra, and we're going to be A1 again. So front end wise, if you don't get a clear bra, sometimes you will get rock chips and different things that hit the car. In this case, the paint is good. I did get hit down here by a tire, some road debris on the road, so I have some scratches right here as well that actually are embedded into the clear bra. And so what happened is, you know, on the freeway back from a car show, a piece of tire flew up, boom, boom, hit both of the vehicles, tore up the front end, and so it's getting a new one. You know, I'm over it, whatever, but that's just part of the game. And so that's probably the most damage the car has had actually over the last year. Of course, I changed the hood out, made a couple of visual changes. I got some that I put on here, some other pieces that still have to be on here. So I have a carbon fiber hood. You know, I'll do a video on this carbon fiber hood more in detail, but it is good quality carbon fiber. You know, black grill vents, all that good stuff. So, you know, some of the best carbon fiber on here, hood-wise. You know, I got my new wheels and tires on. You know, I got my carbon fiber mirror caps on here. I think I had a video earlier on these, and so I did get my mirror caps on, as well as a couple of other touches. So you see you got the steering wheel in here, little sneak peek. You know, I'll go over that later. I still got to get my dash in, and so basically when I messed the front bumper up and stuff started happening, I started getting upset, didn't put a lot of pieces on the car, but so I have a bunch of stuff put up that's gonna go on this car, and so I'm gonna kick it back into gear now that the car show season is slowing down. But essentially, paint wise, body wise, you know, this car's been garage kept about 8,000 miles on it, and so it's held up pretty well, I would say. As far as quality, I haven't had any major service being needed other than an oil change, and of course tires. If you wear your tires down, brake pads, they got changed out by default. And so other than that, it's just been a joy to drive and enjoy and have a little fun. And so if you take care of your car, you shouldn't have any issues. Definitely not after the first year of ownership, unless you're, you know, beating on it at the racetrack or, you know, getting active out in the streets. And so these cars hold up pretty good. So like I hinted to in the beginning of the video, the question a lot of people have is getting a Hellcat really worth it? You know, you might have a RT, a scat pack, a GT, a SXT, even the older models have SEs, Super Bs. There are all kind of models, you know, and even now you have the Durango Hellcats, the Trackhawks, you have the TRXs. And so when you have the lower trim packages, of course you want to ascend and get higher and higher and higher and higher. And so in my case, my point of view is going to be for the 2020 wide body Hellcat or the Hellcat platform in general. Now me having a Super B 392, it did have heads and cam, engine work, all that cool stuff done to it, you know, so it was juiced up a little bit. But having a supercharger is a whole different ball game. What that means is, you know, when the weather's right, you know, the temperatures are down, you're definitely going to feel that supercharger kicking in. You know, you hear us call it boost weather. And so hearing that whine in itself is kind of what you get with the Hellcat. And so when you're on the streets, on the freeway, you know, doing pulls or whatever, that's definitely one of the pros to having a Hellcat is that sound. You know you had a supercharger in the hood and you want to hear it talking to you. And so sometimes you can change the intakes out, make the supercharger a little bit louder. In my case, it's completely stock. I don't care at the moment, but I'm going to work the engine bay and start putting some stuff up under there as well. And that's when I address my Kodak intake. So let's take our trip to Springfest, for example. On these trips, we drove all the way from Texas to California. What that meant is that, you know, we're putting these cars on the road, putting a lot of gas in them, putting a lot of miles on them, but I'm really able to test out or stress test the builds and see kind of what these cars do. So when I was riding with Hellcats on the way back from Springfest, I was actually having to get gas more than the people that had the Hellcats, whether they were stock, built, or whatever. And so sometimes it can be in your tune. Sometimes you have people that run E85 and different fuels that change your gas mileage. But in my case, I actually had to fuel up way more. And so it made me curious as to, you know, having a built car versus a Hellcat. The Hellcat does have some efficiency there, which is pretty cool. So I actually spend less on gas having a Hellcat than I did when I have a 392. And so we'll probably have to do a video later on comparing a Scat Pack to a Hellcat, you know, the same amount of miles, driving conditions, all that, and we'll see kind of what they do. But in my opinion, if you don't drive your car every day, getting a Hellcat is going to be a good move because you're really not going to spend that much more on gas, you know. So you get the performance and you don't spend more on gas, as opposed to if you keep a Scat Pack, for example, you put 20 grand under the hood, you know, fully built, supercharged, you know, you're making 800-900 horsepower, whatever. Now you're drinking gas, and so and you're gonna burn a bunch of fuel doing so. And so it's like you pay once and then you end up paying over and over again. Whereas with the Hellcat, you know, you get 700 horsepower out the gate, your gas mileage is what it is, and the car still has a warranty. And so different strokes for different folks. In my case, stock engine, Hellcat's gonna win. Gas mileage is cool. I don't feel the difference, you know, compared to a built 392, so I'm cool with it. It's a good move. So it's not a lot of extra gas costs built in with a Hellcat. Now, if you're daily driving it and you're sitting in traffic all day, that's a whole different ball game. But for me, this car stays parked 90% of the time, and so it really doesn't matter the gas mileage. And so, once again, the Hellcat's a good move, good fit for my lifestyle, what I do with the car. You know, going to car shows, going to meets, just having fun. It's a leisure vehicle, nothing too crazy. So you have the engine, you have the gas mileage. As far as the, let's say if you had a Challenger, as far as the space-wise, definitely having 4 doors for me is a plus. You know, anytime we're going to car shows, we're loading up with people going places, and it's just always good for me to have an extra 2 doors. And so having that Hellcat means you can have passengers riding the back with you and, you know, just have a little fun when you're going out, you know, getting on it, doing what you're supposed to do in the Hellcat. And so just the platform itself is good. I haven't had any issues like weird stuff happening with the suspension, you know, the braking, the you know, the differential, none of that stuff. Mechanically it's sound, and so the Hellcats are pretty stout, you know. And so if you take care of your car, it's gonna take care of you. And so that good car is maintenance wise, where you're not stuck spending a bunch of money on wear and tear trying to fix stuff, especially when you start customizing these cars, changing the suspension out, all that good stuff, because then you end up paying and paying and paying and paying, and you never really get to enjoy the car because it's always broken. And so you got your engine, you got your gas mileage, the practicality of the car. You know, you can, if you have a family, definitely having a Charger, for example, Hellcat Charger, it puts it in play because you can still use the car for family purposes, and then for the weekends you can still have a little fun with it. Throw your drag pack on there, go to the track, have fun, dropping your kids back off at the daycare during the week. So it's definitely a practical vehicle. If I had to name a few cons of having a Hellcat, I would probably have to say, of course, compared to a lower trim package, it kind of goes without saying you're going to have price. So the price of a Hellcat definitely is going to be more. You know, they probably start off high 60s, 70s, 80s. You know, red eyes are even 90s and 100s now. And so the price of the cars definitely isn't getting any cheaper. And so you're definitely going to pay way more than you would than if you got a Scat Pack. You know, there's people right now paying 60 and 50 and all kind of crazy numbers for Scat Packs. And so Hellcats are definitely attainable when you start comparing them to that level and people getting like pre-owned Hellcats. But you want to make sure that, of course, the maintenance and everything else was kept up, so you don't get a clapped out vehicle that you end up having to replace a lot of stuff on it. So, but of course, the price is going to be something you want to take into consideration. You know, as a ballpark, you're probably going to spend anywhere from, let's say if you get a used one from like mid 50s, 60s, 70s, you're still spending $800 plus a month. you know. And so, you know, it's people that spend, you can easily spend $1,600, $1,500, $1,300, $1,400, $1,200 a month, depending on, you know, how much you put down, you know, all your specifics and all that. But you're going to be in the 1,000+ range for sure. And so you want to make sure you can, you know, carry that note or take care of your business as far as having a Hellcat and keeping it long term. That way you're not put in a position where you have too much negative equity and can't get out of it. But definitely, if you can swing it, cool. If not, the cars are the same. So let's say if you have a Scat Pack and you'll be really stretching to get a Hellcat, I would say just wait. The price of these cars are going up right now, and so you're not really missing anything if you don't get one, because pretty soon they're going to do a redesign anyway. And so what that means is that the current miles are going to be cheaper. You know, you still get some with low miles on them, and so don't rush to go buy one if you can, because it can only get better. It's not going to get worse. And so in my opinion, if you have one and you're still kind of shaky on if you can afford one or paying that $1,000+ car note, just hold on, you know, save your money up, you know, get everything in order, and then you'll be good to go. So definitely the financial side is one bad thing of having a Hellcat. I would say one of the cons of having a Hellcat is going to be the fact that there's nowhere where you can really use the car to its full potential. What that means is that if I'm on the road, I'm on 45, you know, 99, wherever, unless I'm literally driving without any regard for the law, I'm not going to be going 200 miles an hour. And so the car can do 200, you got 200 on the dash, cool, but there's almost never going to be a situation where you can top that car out unless you're going like to the Texas Mile and you go into all these paid events to where you can actually push the limits of the car. But once again, it's still, you know, you have more car than you do road. And so definitely at higher speeds, the car burns a bunch of gas, you know, and I can attest to that. But, you know, my car's never going to see 200. And so it's like you have it, but you can't use it. You know, it's cool to know you have that power, and the Hellcat badge does mean something. And so when people see the Hellcat, normally they'll want to rev it up, and they, you know, want you to get active on the road. But it's like, you know, you have a fast car, and so there's really, you have more car than you really gonna ever need. Even at the racetrack, for example, running out a quarter mile, you're only going, you know, low 100s. So, you know, whether you're going 120, 130-ish, give or take, you're not really gonna be going in the upper range of your speed limit. So you're never gonna see 200. So that means if I get a red eye that goes 220, I'm never gonna see 220. So like I said, it fits my driving style to get the regular Hellcat. I saved about, give or take, maybe 10 grand or so. And so that's 10 grand I can put elsewhere into the car, as opposed to having more in the motor that I don't need and I'm never gonna use. And I'd rather use it on the exterior and dressing the car up and making it look nice. And so I guess the saying goes, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And so definitely with a Hellcat, you're gonna have it. People are gonna know you have it, but it's just frustrating sometimes to where you're in bumper to bumper traffic, and it's almost like you're just sitting there playing with everybody, but you can't, you know, you just really wasting the car. And so in my case, you know, they joke with me all the time that I waste the Hellcat because I don't drive it fast, I don't, you know, tear it up, I don't get out there and drive crazy. But to me, it's more so a showpiece. You know, I want to show it off, you know, show what we can do, you know, keep it in good condition. I'm cool. That's just one thing to keep in mind. So let's say if I was to get a wide body Scat Pack, and you're thinking about, should I get a wide body Scat Pack or should I get a wide body Charger? The cars look exactly the same. You get the 6-piston Brembos up front. The only time you really notice the difference is when you open the engine bay and when you see the badges on the side of the car. And so essentially, and I'll show you real quick. And so essentially, you know, right here you have the badges. Of course, the hood area. They even have some that come with the Hellcat hoods. And so, but the hoods are different and the badges are different. Other than that, it's literally the same exact car from the outside, including the 6-piston brakes. And so what that means is that you really are paying for the engine and some of the interior dressings as far as the leather materials and all that. And so if you care about the engine, you know, care about the Hellcat badge and want to make that statement, you definitely want to go Hellcat. But if you're more akin to going car shows and just hanging out having fun, a Scat Pack is a better move, because what that does is it allows you more room for customization. What that means is that if you say you can have a Hellcat but you'd have to leave it stock and not be able to customize it, as opposed to having a Scat Pack and being able to put 20 grand in it, you know, being able to spend it on wheels, suspension, exhaust systems, all that cool stuff, then definitely if that kind of stuff matters to you, you'll be able to go Scat Pack and have a little bit more fun with the vehicle, as opposed to being all in on the car note and having a car you can't do anything with. And so basically, if I had to ask myself the question of would I do it again, you know, if I had a chance, I'm sitting at the dealership, I'm ordering a car, Would I get a Scat Pack? Would I get a Hellcat? You know, honestly, I could say I probably would be satisfied with the Scat Pack because that just leaves more budget and room for customization. But when budget's not an issue and you're really just getting what you want, my recommendation is always get what you want because it leaves no room for you to have any regrets later on. So I definitely don't regret getting a Hellcat, but I can say that I haven't really utilized it to its full potential. I've been, you know, to the racetrack twice, maybe 3 times with the car. You know, I got a few runs in, had a little fun, like I said, but other than that, the car sits parked 90% of the time, whether it's parked at a car show, parked at a meet, parked in the garage, in the shop, wherever. So, like I said, it's more of a showpiece, you know, like the old men that have their cars put up in the garages and the bubbles and all that. So, you know, the car just sits. But for me, it's definitely a good platform to be able to showcase what we can do. And so I'll definitely spend a little bit more time working on this car. You know, I do like it. You know, I have a lot of fun with it. But, you know, it's just it's a labor of love. You know, you work hard, you play hard. And so if you're making a decision on Scat Pack versus Hellcat, just to sum it up, you want to go on price. You know, does the price make sense? Paying $20,000, $30,000 more, you know, sometimes you have to do the markups. That's not going to make sense for everybody. So 1, does it make sense? 2, see if you can get you a pre-owned one because new, they're marking them up. So you might can find one with 3,000 miles, for example, and save you a bunch of money. 3, will you actually use the Hellcat for what the Hellcat's made for? You know, do you plan to go to the racetrack? Do you plan to, you know, whether driving on road courses, do you plan to drive aggressively? You know, and partake in different activities that would lend itself to you using the Hellcat for what it's made for? Or is it simply going to be a show car to where you're going to park it? You know, all of that stuff's going to matter. But if you're looking for a daily driver that's balanced, this car is that. And so definitely a car that's built, a built Scat Pack drives way different than a stock Hellcat. And so in my opinion, having 700 horsepower, stock Hellcat platform is cool. You know, the car has a warranty. You know, you can drive it every day. You can be subtle when you want to, loud when you want to. Has an active exhaust. All of that good stuff built into it. And so it's definitely a good platform, but just make your decision based on what you think fits you the best. But, you know, I believe in, you know, you only live once. You know, have fun, do what you got to do. And so I don't regret getting it. But like I say, it's just a matter of, is it really worth it? So for me, I guess it's worth it more so for the aesthetic value and being able to know that I was able to get one and able to kind of put my spin on how my vision is for this platform with a wide body. And I feel like that's more of an opportunity, more so than, you know, having a car that's 200 mile per hour capable and 0 to 60 and all these different stats and all that cool stuff. That's all cool. That's not me. And so me understanding that, I'm happy with my purchase. I'm cool with the Hellcat platform, you know, completely stock. I even have a stock exhaust right now. That'll be changing soon as we get some more product available to us. But, you know, definitely I'm cool with it as is. And so it's just a matter of, you know, me enjoying it for what it is, putting my spin on it, and being able to realize some of the benefits of having one. Like, you know, it has cool down mode and all that stuff. And so it definitely, even the regular Hellcat does have some race features built in. And so I'll probably do a video on some of the features in the radio, but it definitely does have some features built in to where, you know, if you still get out there on the racetrack, you can still, you know, still get out there and have fun. The Red Eye does have more features, but yeah, this car is a stout platform, you know, no regrets, no issues. You know, you can see I got the wheels on there looking good. And so I have to make a video when we got a little bit more light. But definitely this set right here is one of my favorite sets of wheels. I actually picked these out maybe, I want to say about 3 years ago I picked these wheels out. And they were going to go on my last car. But I ended up getting rid of that. And so I was able to build a pretty cool set of wheels. You know, picked out the colors, all the options, all that good stuff. I know I made a video on 3-piece wheels earlier. These were the wheels I've been waiting on. And so, yeah, we're going to go over these. I'll get into that later. I won't bore you with the details on the wheels, but that's a whole process in itself. So I'll get to that later. But just wanted to give a quick update on the car after 1 year of ownership. You know, we've been to a couple of car shows, able to win a couple of trophies, meet a lot of cool people. And so that's what it's all about. You know, putting your spin on it, showing the world your vision, and bringing that vision to life. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and close it out. So once again, thank you for watching. You know, I appreciate all the support we've gotten from all over the world. You know, people have had questions, you know, that I've hopefully been able to answer. You know, people have, you know, just sending comments on how they love the car, love how it's come together. Got plenty more in store for it, and so I definitely try and dedicate a little bit more time into being able to dress this car up how I have envisioned, because if I'm able to put it together, it's gonna be something serious. And so definitely, you know, definitely, you know, stay tuned, because I do plan to get it in. In the month of December, I'm definitely gonna challenge myself to go 30 for 30. What that means, I'm gonna try and put out 30 videos. I'm gonna close out the month of November strong. It's like November the 21st today, and so I'm gonna try and push out, you know, as many as I can these last, you know, few weeks in the year, and we're gonna get a head start for 2022. And so I appreciate everybody watching, all your support from all over the world. You know, it definitely doesn't go unappreciated. And other than that, we're just gonna get to it. So, you know, if you have any questions, you got a wide body, thinking of getting a wide body, thinking of getting a Hellcat, shooting my way, I'll give you the best advice I can based on my personal point of view. Hit that red button, go on ahead and subscribe. Let me know what you think of some of the points I made in regards to the Hellcats, as far as are they worth it after a year of ownership. And let's have some fun. So I'll be back. Y'all stay tuned.